Hey there. So I noticed that last time we had class, we had some technical difficulties. And I also know that last time I did a portrait demo, I went a little too fast, and I'm going to try and get better at that. With this demo is going to really focus on a couple things, mainly hair, and we're going to think about neck, shoulders, and if you wear a hair covering like a hijab or a headscarf, thinking about how to draw that because that's important. I also know a lot of the time in drawing class, I feel like we don't cover how to draw different hair lengths, how to draw different hairstyles like braids or a fade. So I'm gonna kind of go through that, and I'm gonna try and do it slowly. So stay with me, and hopefully we can learn some cool drawing techniques. I don't know what that face was, but if this helped you, let me know. If this was not helpful and I went too fast, also let me know. Okay, good luck. Okay, so if you're working on your outer self portrait and you want to make a drawing that looks like you, hopefully you've already started with your face. Block in halfway down the face where the eyes, nose, and mouth might go. You can put in a couple ears and start looking at your hairline. That's where your hair and your scalp meet. The shape of your hairline is really good to do with the side of the pencil. Do you see how I'm not creating a really dark, thick line? Rather, a kind of light shade. That'll help you really nail the shape of your hairline. Our hairlines are actually really unique to us, and when we get our hairline right, it's a lot easier for us to make a drawing that really looks like us. So first, I'll show you how to make just a really short haircut. Like maybe you have something close to a buzz cut or a fade that's really close to your skull and your scalp. This is sort of how you'd want to do it. Just shade it in gently, really focusing on the shape of your hairline. Then smear it in with your finger. That'll actually help create that kind of soft hair look. A key to this drawing is going to be having a really good eraser. A lot of our hair is just shapes, shadows, and highlights, and creating the right shine lines will really help us get a realistic hair look. I'm darkening in the hair to show you how I would make waves. If you're someone who has waves that are really close to your scalp, start by really just erasing small, thin lines of that dark overall shadow we just created. You can see it's already creating the illusion of really thin waves on the top of your head. You can go back over and darken some of those wave lines to create a more in-depth look. But now I'm going to move on, and I'm going to show you how you can create braids or cornrows. I'm sort of just fading the lines I just created to create a blank space. Remember that your braids may look different than the braids that I'm drawing, but just think of this as kind of a reference. So the tip of the braid that's closer to your scalp or your hairline, it's going to be a little bit narrower. Create long line shapes to just block in where your braids are, and that will help create depth. So our braids are probably not perfectly flat on our heads. They come up a little bit. So I'm trying to show that the braids are coming up, but again, I haven't created any texture or pattern yet. I'm really just focusing on the shape that the braids make against your head. Now I'm starting to really get into the little details of the braids. I'm trying to create the crisscross pattern that braids make. I know this seems time consuming, but it really will look nice when you're done. A lot of the time when people begin drawing braids, they kind of just draw these big chunks of hair. I'll show you right here, kind of like that. Now, there's nothing wrong with that, but I think that we're kind of not giving braids their full glory. They're really beautiful and have a lot of awesome details. So when I'm drawing braids, And when I started drawing braids, I liked to start by creating a pattern in the hair braid strand that actually showed the way that the hairs were overlapping and weaving together. So here's my example of just a really beginner way that you can draw braids by just taking essentially like almost like little ovals and overlapping and layering them. I kind of messed up here. I'm still learning. It's been a while since I did this, but you can see the way that our braids, create a pattern, and I'm tying it off at the end here, and a lot of the time when we have a braid, our hair will kind of curl at the end where it's tied off. So I'm just sort of showing an example of a tight curl there. All right, erase, erase, erase. Like I said, a really good eraser is going to be key for this drawing project. Now, if you have baby hairs or edges that maybe come out of your braid or come out of your hairstyle, again, use the side of that pencil really gently to make little wispy shapes. Look at the shape and the size of your baby hairs or your edges and try and capture that shape. It's going to really frame your face in a way that is unique and special to you. So that's one way you can draw baby hairs or edges. Now I'm going to erase the braids I just did. I know it kind of made me sad to erase them. I thought they looked kind of cute. And I'm going to show you a couple different ways that you can draw a hair covering. So you may wear a hair scarf or a hijab or a different hair covering, and it's important to have the tools to know how to draw that. So really focus on looking at the shape that the fabric of your hijab or hair covering makes around your face. First, I'm going to look at one style that I see a lot, which is folks wearing hair scarves and then tying it back in kind of like a bun at the bottom of the hair. So you can see I'm really focusing on not the hair, but the way that the fabric folds and falls. That'll really create beautiful dimension if you just focus on, okay, what shapes is the fabric in my hair covering or my hair wrap or my hijab wearing? So you can see here I'm doing a style where the fabric may come over one of your shoulders and then drape down. And again, I'm really just focusing on the shapes that the fabric makes when it overlaps and layers against your shoulders and the rest of your body and outfit. So maybe you have some of your neck showing, in which case you would just, leave your neck part open, or your hair covering or hijab may come under your chin. Or maybe the top of your hair covering covers your hairline, in which case you would just want to, again, really focus on the shape that that line makes. And then there you go. Hopefully that's helpful. I'm going to go back now that I feel like I've sort of covered how to do a hair covering and a hijab, and or again, erase, 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 stay with me. You might want to go grab a drink of water. This will take a minute. And I'm going to focus for a second on how to do kind of short, wavy hair. Like your hair might be a little bit longer than the first drawing I did, but it's not like quite long hair. You've kind of like overgrown hockey hair, let's call it. A very signature hairstyle in Minnesota. So you've got, again, same thing. Get that hairline down. What shape do the hairs around your face make? And then our hair, especially if it's a little longer and wavy, comes above our skull shape. So again, really focus on the wavy lines that are going to be around your head. I know I went kind of fast through that, but I didn't get a ton of requests for this kind of hair. Here's a little cartoon of kind of like how I'm feeling right now. La la la. Okay, I hope that was helpful. Please let me know. Bye.